get up and get going. All right. We got sound, which is good. Always a great way to start the show, having some sound here. Let some folks get in here for a minute. Let things trickle in. Oh yeah, I'm stratting it up a little bit today. That's actually a great place to start, Harlan. We're going to let you kick off the show. So we got some folks in here. We'll give it another minute or two, let some folks gather in. How's everybody doing? Jay, Munkle, John, Randy Heston. Welcome our moderator, Mr. Chuck Keller in the house. Josh says he's glad we're doing more live streams. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Josh. The only way I'm able to do them is with the help of Vidami. Like, you know, in what we all do, you know, it's hard to break away from recording and sessions and things like that to to make time for live streams, right? And the folks at Vidami have partnered up with us to bring this like weekly live at the woodshed kind of thing, this little hang. They're here to bring it to life, you know, and make it happen. So with that said, out of you guys that are in the room, so we got, John, Harlan, Matt, Leonard, Mark, George, Jay, everybody. Man, have you guys got the Vidami? Have you had a chance to check it out? Have you seen it? Have you even seen one? I know we talked about it last week a little bit, but that's the deal right there. You know, when you're doing some picking and there's a piece of music, I'm sure we'll get into it this week, and you get on YouTube, you know, usually you have to stop playing the guitar to monkey around with the controls or whatever, your keyboard or mouse or whatever. And Vidami basically just lets you control that stuff with your feet. So this is the blue, and they make one that's got a little USB cable. Kind of goes in, but the blue, you know, it's like you can see on it, you can slow stuff down and bring it back to correct speed. You can loop it and pause it backwards and forwards. Have you guys got one? Did you have a chance to check it out? Jay's asking about Vidami platform integration updates. Yeah, so there are some updates coming out, and I can't say whether they go live today or tomorrow, but I feel like it's this week sometime. George here says it's the first view of it. So basically, George, it's a way to control like a clip, like YouTube, TrueFire, all kinds of different platforms. It'd probably do you good to get on the website and check out everything that it integrates in, but I'm pretty sure there's a jam play in there, things like that. I'll just give you a really quick demo now. I'm not going to do a screen share because I got enough things going on with OBS as it is. But let's just go to YouTube here, kick open something. Let's say there's what's a really great performance that I love? Let's do Cliff's Live Austin. So I'm going to look that up on YouTube real quick, because this is like one of my all-time favorite EJ-isms. And basically what I'm going to do is just click this bad boy on. It's going to Bluetooth into my my desktop here. It says it sees it, which is good. And we'll go to the Eric Johnson Cliffs of Dover thing. I'm going to open that up. So here's the iconic cliffs. Y'all let me know if the levels are too far off point. So if I'm not mistaken, I could hit the speed button here. Make sure I got the right window open. Yeah. Pause it. Right, so I just paused the classic EJ thing. If I want to go backwards, I could click it back a couple of times and start it over. Right? Maybe it's like, oh, what's he playing there? What is that? So let's just do that real quick, right? So like, let's say I learned that. I'm going to close that window out so I can see you guys, which is a little bit more valuable. So, it's like maybe that lick is a... except it's got the more EJ thing hang on. It's like more... all of that stuff starts happening, right? It's really cool. It's a cool device. I think there's a lot of potential for this thing. Like, if you're into cooking shows or out there working on your car, whatever. But I think it's cool for guitar players. That's why we're doing this. Man, you guys know, at least I think I don't know the right term. I don't really get out there and shill for my products. I hope that if people play my guitars or the woodshed compressor or the gearbox or any of that stuff, I hope you like it upon its own means. And I tend to just work with the things that I like and let the product do the talking. If you have a chance to check it out, I definitely think you should. Because when it comes to phrasing, it's it's so hard to beat guys like Eric and Jeff Beck, Landau. Landau's one of my favorites. Dan Huff is another one of my favorites. I love those guys. And maybe that could be the topic for today. Topic for today can be what Harlan said. Talk about phrasing. There's a couple of things that happen when phrasing's brought into the game. Theme building. We as guitar players, we're so eager to hurry up and get to the next note. We're so ready to... What's the next thing we can play? I've already played it. I need to play something else. Hurry. Time's running out. Theme building. Theme building is the thing. And when I'm composing, it's a lot like when I'm improvising. I mean, in my opinion, improvising is composing in real time. You're doing it on the fly. So if you have a theme, we'll say, maybe we'll just use my tune Reach. That chorus thing going on. There's that theme. And I want to readdress it. So for everyone that's got their guitar with them, we're just going to play out of the key of E minor right now. And it'll be E natural minor. So we'll have a minor 6, minor 3rd, flat 7. That kind of sound, right? And if you're confused, take your pentatonic and then add in the 2. You're going to add in the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5, right? So 6, right? Minor 6, 1, 2, minor 3rd, 4, 5, minor 6, flat 7, 1. So when I'm thinking about a phrase, a tune like Reach is a great example where I'm gonna come in with what a nice melody line, just on that root note. Now, here's a great example of staying on a note and not trying to get somewhere else. That 9 is a really interesting harmony. Back down to the root. Very simple melody. Nothing really crazy. And now, when the chords change and we have this C chord come up, I'm not going to play the root of C. It's going to be like being aware of my chord tones. So when there's a C chord, I don't need to necessarily regurgitate C. I want to give you the same note that I've been... Because there's enough material with just 1, 2, and minor 3rd to build a great phrase. And that's in E, right? So when we go to the C chord, that becomes our 5 of C. And now we're going to drop down and play a G chord. And that's the root of G down to the 3rd. And that is a big payoff note. And when I'm thinking about phrasing, I'm thinking about thirds so much. It's about everything. So like if I'm playing an E minor, now I'll go to the C. See how that phrasing, the 3 notes that sounded one way with the root, with a different root, it's going to give us a different vibe. And now what's been that 2, when I play a B chord, that 2 becomes the 5th of the B. So that's like step 1, just being aware of some chord change, chord tones, right? Understanding what those really, I call them money notes, what those money notes are. And part 2 would be ornamentation. I had a great lesson with a student the other day, and we talked about ornamentation. He is a great player, and he would just come in, he would play a line, and it would be something, I'm going to paraphrase, right? So maybe his line would be, or maybe like, and that last note, he would always just kind of give up on it. Even if he played something flashy. And I was just like, man, that last note could have a little more love on it. Just adding an ornament of that slide. Maybe it could be something as simple. Did you notice on that, even though we heard as the end, falling down to that next chord tone is a great, a lot of slide players use it. You'll hear slide players play things like something like that. If you notice, I was just going, and a traditional flat pick guitarist like myself, changing that phrase. The basic story here is, just D to B playing in the key of E minor. That's 7 to 5. That's the basic meat of the story. Whatever you do to the front of it, changing the phrase of 5 7 and 5, 7 and 5, D and B. Maybe something like this. Maybe it could be something like this. Let me get that in tune. Changing how something's delivered. You know, maybe you could do... that changes the vibe completely. You know, what I'm putting around those notes. You see what's happening there? So for me, when I'm thinking about phrasing, I'm trying to add, like in pool, you know, they add English to the ball. It's saying, is a nice way to play. That's a more traditional guitarist way of playing it. I always call it just plugging in the buttons, like you're playing Guitar Hero. Just plugging in the buttons. It's when you're doing that thing, you are only playing from a this finger goes here and that makes it the right note kind of aspect. Right? Versus those are all still the same notes. Yeah, skipping the intervals. Maybe I had playing it all on one string is another way to build some really cool phrases. So Matt here is asking us a question that's really nice. It's like, how do you use harmonic minor within a blues context? Use it over that 5 chord. So if we have a minor blues, be kind of like a way that I would just have a, a weird kind of minor blues kind of thing. Why don't we just take a look at one of my tunes? Maybe I'll just play some Reach here. I haven't played it in a while. There's a million versions of me playing this out there on YouTube. Well, why not make it 1,000,001? Let's just see what kind of phrasing we can come up with, and I'll try to navigate this. So you let me know if the volumes are okay. It feels pretty good right here to me. Yeah, kind of a fun thing to work on that phrasing. And man, when I play through a tune like that, I kind of yank that B string out of tune, but that's all right. She's a little flat now. That's okay. Yanking on them ropes. I like to call it live without a net, you know. Doing these tunes are a lot easier when you can stop and be like, wait a minute, that B string's a little flat now. But as far as the phrasing goes, there was a theme that I developed at some point in that. We may have to use our Vidamis to go back in time and check out what happened. But there's a lot of this kind of theme that was going on. This, and the moment I heard that, I was really feeling that. I was like, oh, I don't know where that came from. That's a cool little phrase, you know. And it's the simplest little thing. But when you talk about phrasing, it's never something that requires, I don't want to say never, it's rarely something that requires a lot of horsepower. Like horsepower, you know. It's rarely something like that. It's more about like, is this like a little hook that stays in you, you know? There it is again, right? So once I kept hearing that, like I'm hearing it, you know, an E. And what does that remind us of? Reminds us of the top of the tune, right? And I'm changing the root note. Trying to just really tell a story. I mean, you guys are my listeners. Like, I want to respect you. I want to respect that you're listening and tell you a story and not just get to the, it's like getting to the punchline, right? Like, you don't watch The Return of the King without watching Fellowship and Two Towers first. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when that solo kicks in, you know, that... When that solo starts rolling in, it gets a really interesting tonality. We're at the front of it because we have a C chord. When we have that C chord, and then we're going, that's a lot of E minor harmony, right? You can use E minor pentatonic over that solo section. Let's go ahead and bring that back up on this backing track here. This is just one of the backing tracks one of my many backing tracks that I love to play to. You can get this on my website if you guys want. Transcription, Guitar Pro, backing track, all that stuff's on my website. So let's go to this solo. Where's she at? Yeah, she's getting ready to rev up right around here. And I'm just going to play E minor pentatonic until we can't. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2. There, right there. So the front of it, I can play all the E minor pentatonic in the world. But at the end of it, I have to end where that would normally be that, and it would be this. It needs to be this. So it has to end on major. That's like, it's one of the things I like to do in my compositions, which is like weave in and out of a major minor tonality. So check it out. A lot of E minor. Catch how I went into a major kind of sus4? Kind of playing without the track allows me to know if I'm aware of my changes, my chord changes, right? It's even in those bends. Now back to minor. Major. All minor, major. It is kind of that Allman Brothers thing, Donald, a little bit. Where you kind of drifting between the two. And it's not like playing a blues, right? Like a blues thing would be like you can be a little bit arbitrary, a little neutral in the third. That's definitely got a major and minor thing. What I'm talking about is like at the front of reach solo, you really have to play minor the entire time. You can't play that major third against the C chord. You get that tritone thing. I mean, you might play that if you're Scott Henderson, right? And you would probably play that way cooler than anything I could do. But in general, when I'm thinking about that phrasing game, man, I'm really trying to think thematically, think about my chord tones, where those chord tones are falling in the line. Trying to think here. Another example. Turn off some of this goop. Allman Brothers was just brought up, And when I think about trying to play through a song that's got a lot of cool chord changes that you have to acknowledge and you have to phrase nicely over, it's Melissa from Allman Brothers, And if you don't ever know where to start, always start with the melody line. now this C chord is acknowledged, so you really have to play kind of a minor thing, you know. And then the next section's really cool too. What is it? And right there I just substituted just a little chromatic thing to kind of walk up, you know. So we're going. And then so on and so forth. Yeah, you can always start with the melody line, you know. Doda over here is saying, as it sounds Mixolydian. Yeah, it's going to, I'm assuming you're still talking about reach, at the end of reach. It's minor, though. You can't play that major third against the C. Now you can play the major third, right? No major third. Not yet. And now you can play it, right? Now you have to go back to minor for third. So that's not Mixolydian. Not that at all. Compliments on the tone. Thank you, Chris. The tone right now is courtesy of two things. A lovely Sir Stratocaster, classic. I guess John would be mad if I said a Strat. That's classic. And the Woodshed compressor. That's it, you know. Into a Bella. I've got a little bit of tone correction, as I like to call it. So the tone in the room, a little more bright and crisp, but by the time it gets into the digital world, I use a little tone correction via EQ. But that's just to get it to sound like out of my monitors what it's sounding like in the room. So I'm using a little EQ, but it's not meant to change the fundamental tone that I'm hearing out of the amp. It's meant to change it to sound more like the amp. Sus 2, Sus 4, yeah, of course, man, yeah. Those kind of sounds. Donald is saying most hippie jam bands play like that. Yeah, it's like, you know, Melissa's a great example of when guys... like, let's bring up the backing track to Melissa. Let's bring one up. See if we can find one that's good. Now I'm just shooting in the dark on YouTube here. Let's see. Melissa backing track. And see if we can get one. Would it be karaoke would be better? Karaoke. That way we don't have a singer. We don't need a singer. Because we're going to be the singer, right? Let's see if this is with chords and lyrics. Let's see if this is a good sound. It may not be any good. I'm seeing here. Where's it at? There we go. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. So a traditional guitar player would just play major pentatonic through all this. And a lot of times you're going to get that kind of thing where they're constantly, sorry, I'm jumping windows. That's what I'm doing. Where they're constantly landing on a phrase, again, going back to phrasing, where they're playing some stuff and they're always coming back to E. Well, that doesn't really do anything for the storytelling of phrase building. Because if you're ending everything with E, it's very much like when you speak and you have the same punctuation on the end of every sentence. Like every sentence might be a period. You've got to have punctuation that different, right? So for me, like looking at thirds, let's go back to the top of that Melissa tune right there. This backing track's good enough to prove our point. Simplified chords, it says, which is cool. I'm going to focus on the third of E a lot, which is going to be this G sharp. You see how it's a little more soothing, it's a little more on that sweet note because it's not just regurgitating the same tonality as the E. Now you have to acknowledge this flat 7, right? See how I was like started to walk around the scale a little bit on that last phrase, started to just move a little bit, right? That kind of thing, right? I'm probably going to get copyright hit, but I think it's worth it here to translate the message, the example, right? Because it's probably a tune that a lot of people are playing. At least when I go see bar bands or whatever, guys will dip into the Allman Brothers well, as we all should. I'm not hating on it. I'm encouraging it. You want to do some Allman Brothers? You should do some Allman Brothers. It's an educating experience when you've got to play over some of these tunes like Melissa that have changes that you have to acknowledge. It's like you're almost lightly dabbling in some jazz approach, playing to the chord change, going to the phrasing aspect is like, okay, what's my chord? Let's take that C. You'll always run. That C to 5, and then that right there. So when I'm thinking of that section, I got to know my chord tones for C, and I don't mean know where to put my fingers. I mean my chord tones, right? Where's 1, 3, and 5? Are they all there? So if you play C like this, you only have 1 and 5. There's no third there. That's 1, 5, 1. If you play B like this, 1, 5, 1, until you put that middle finger down, you don't have a third. So like when it comes time for that, right? Trying to move around those chord tones when we come up to the C. So knowing those chord tones, not just right there, but having them everywhere. 1, 3, 5, right there. You have 1, 3, 5 like this. You can have 1, 3, 5 like this. You see how I'm trying to figure out as many ways to play the same thing as possible. You see, even though that sounded like a nice, slick, descending run, that was just playing the B chord. 5, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3. Now, down to 3. I ended on 3 because when you can end on a third, it's kind of a slicker tonality, right? That's kind of my thoughts on phrasing. I mean, we could talk about this stuff, gosh, indefinitely. Let me just jump over here to chat and see what you guys are talking about. Give me a second to catch up here. Give me just a second. Where did I leave off? Donald. Left off Donald. Donald, hope you're doing well, man. I see you chiming in a lot, brother. I appreciate your support. And I see a lot of my Patreons in here, so, you know, I appreciate you guys so much. I couldn't keep this stuff going without you. And we got a new record coming. Of course, you guys see me upload stuff all the time. If you're not hip to the Patreon, it's patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. I'm not going to shameless plug you to death. But if you are interested in this type of topic, we have multiple tiers. At my monster tier, which is still cheaper than doing a one-on-one lesson with me, you get a 30-minute one-on-one lesson per month. You get a weekly live masterclass, and you get all the videos and goodies that we have over there. So I encourage you guys, if you're really interested in taking your playing to a new level, you know, progressing forward, maybe take a sniff around over there and check it out for a month. Try it on for size. Here we go. Roman's saying I like press the like button twice and run away. Watch later. I love it. Preet Parna's, gosh, I'm pronouncing your last name. Please upload Reach's backing track. It is uploaded. It is on andywoodmusic.com. I'm sure one of our lovely moderators will put that in the chat. andywoodmusic.com is where you can get backing tracks and transcriptions. We just uploaded a live version, which is from my Live at the Bijou album concert thing. It's actually one of the most popular versions that's on the internet, and a lot of folks really like that. I'm thankful for it. And that's the version that we just uploaded, I think, last month, which is kind of... Another question for the background music to Reach. Yes, that backing track is available at andywoodmusic.com. Donald's saying whip and post. Yeah. Mark Kirby, hope you're doing well, man. He said it's pure gold, Jerry. It's gold. Down here, Dota is asking if I've heard Claudio Pietrnik. I'm probably butchering that last name, Pietrnik. I think I have seen Claudio's playing. If it's who I'm thinking of, he's have black hair, maybe a ponytail, scruffy. If it is, I have seen it. Let's see here. When is Sir going to build more of your tellies? They are building them as fast as they can. You know, it's that thing where it's #blessed, but we're back ordered about a year, which is great. One just went out today, though. You can check it out on Sir's Instagram. It was a black, very much like this little guy right here that's sitting ever so lovingly in the chair. That guy. It was a black one, and it had single coils, which was cool. And it went out today. Billy Wagner is in the house. Billy says, killed it on Too Many Notes. Unreal. Thank you, Billy. That's a tune that, believe it or not, other than Steve, I've not seen another live version of it. There are some covers on YouTube, and they're very good. These guys have put in a lot of time to nail a lot of the details of that song. I love that solo section just to improvise over. That's just such a great solo section. But thank you for the kind words. Bit of just fun doing it for live and live without a net. It's not something I'm going to try every single time I pick up the guitar. You have a death wish. You make your right wrist, break from all of the picking. But thanks, Billy. Hope you're good. Typing Hazard. Great name for commenting on YouTube. Typing Hazard. What do you think it means when I try to alternate pick forward rolls, and it feels like my picking hand is just wobbling out of control above a certain BPM? I've been playing 20 years, and I still can't nail this. Okay, I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to read it one more time, just make sure I've got the question right. Hazard says, what's my opinion when he's trying to alternate pick forward rolls? Okay, so for more context, I would need to know what you mean by forward roll. Do you mean this kind of thing right here where you're going to go, for lack of a better, we're just going to play. Actually, let's just play G. Is that what you mean by forward roll? I'm trying to scoot back here so you can see the right hand next to the Vidami logo. Is that what you mean by forward roll? Down, up, and then down like this way and then back this way? Or is it this thing? Where you're going down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, where it's doing the same. Is that a forward roll? I don't know. Yeah. That's actually a complicated one where you're going. That's a tricky one. For me, it's about maintaining a certain amount of relaxed sensibility. And with the right hand, I don't have one way to alternate pick. Like, it's not doing this thing. It's not doing this thing. Like, some motions of alternate picking require more hand turning. Like these kind of bluegrassy kind of things. I'm trying to think of another one. There's 4 strings. That's more of that turning motion. Versus that, I guess I'm trying to get to where you can see the camera. Is this okay? It's not really comfortable to play like this, but we're going to try to make it work. That thing. The Friday night in San Francisco roll. This is an approximation. This is not note for note, but it's an approximation. That thing, is it? So that feels different than like the... These kind of like 3-note per string, like Aldi Meola isms, they're like a little more typewriter-y feeling. Let's see what would be a good one. Yeah. That kind of thing, right? It's pretty funny sounding on that clean channel. But yeah, it's the other thing is I'm trying to really I'm picking a lot harder than you guys might recognize. Check it out. That's where my volume is. So I'm trying to pick a bit harder than you might think, and get good tone out of the guitar, get every note to sit really precise. But all of these right hand techniques they're different feeling from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just go, this is my alternate picking technique and it's permanent. It's not like that. It's like you need the alternate picking that feels a certain way for a certain section or a certain sequence, and then a different feeling for another one. And a lot of that just comes from not obsessing over your hero's technique, right? Because let's talk about Steve Morse, John Petrucci, Guthrie Govan, Tony Rice. There's Aldi Meola. There's 5 guys right there that can alternate pick their faces off, and none of their techniques are the same. So don't obsess over what it looks like. I focused personally on what it felt like, trying to play with confidence and precision over speed, and volume control. Like, have, a set of 5 notes. And this is my very first Woodshed episode, was the 5-note, and have them at different volumes, like the top note's a little louder. Yorn is saying, why don't I stream on Twitch? I don't know, because YouTube's ready to go. I mean, I guess Twitch is cool. A lot of kids are doing it over there. They seem to have a lot of drama on Twitch. By they, I just mean the community. Like, hang on, I dropped my pick. Twitch is always like, I don't know. It seems like I'm a big fan of video games. Obviously, I'm wearing my Destiny, my new hoodie. I'm Splicer from Destiny. Got my achievement, my seal, and all that stuff. I like to chase the seals and the lighthouse and the flawless and all that stuff. I follow a lot of Destiny players and a lot of video gamers, and it just seems like every week Twitch has got some new, like, I don't know, scandal. I don't know. Just seems like it's just kind of crazy over there. I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. When I do stream on Twitch, it's usually games, and it's like to get away from music and have that reset. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that why I guess I like to hang out on YouTube. I like you guys over here. It's a good hang. So let's jump back in here. We got a couple more minutes. Wow, I did not realize we ripped through this live stream this quick. Holy cow. Went by in a hurry. I'm going to take just a second here to, again, thanks to Vidami. Without these guys, I would not be streaming. So that's just real talk right there. Go check this out. This is a cool product. I think you guys, I value you guys so much. I really do. I don't want to sound cheesy or anything, but I really value you guys. And I feel like with all you guys that follow me and what I do, you trust me. And so I don't ever put my name on things that I don't like. I've had a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of different companies, but I just don't put my name somewhere if I genuinely don't like the thing. I genuinely like the Vidami. Take that information, go to the website, find out for yourself if it's the right fit. But I mean, that's one thing that matters to me is integrity in a world that seems to be missing a lot of it. Like if you don't like something, don't tie up in it. So these guys are cool. Vidami's awesome. If you're, maybe if you checked out the Too Many Notes and you've been struggling with it, you can use the Vidami to slow it down and loop it. And I understand that technology exists within YouTube, but you never have to take your hands off the guitar, right? You can just stop it with your foot, play the lick, play it again, and you're constantly in a playing position, which I think is super, super valuable. Okay. Jumping in here, Deacon saying, hey, Andy, glad I'm in the Discord. YouTube didn't notify. Oh, man. So if you're not subscribed and you don't have that notifications bell clicked, you gotta do that or you're not going to know when we go. You're not going to know when we go live. You know what I'm saying? Man, Mark Kirby in the house, thank you for the beer money. I will use that later for maybe a delightful sour beer. Those are really good. I like those watermelon fruity sours. Really, really good. Let's see here. Where'd I lose my space? Deacon's in the house. Yep. Josh is asking, can I do the intro lick from I'm a Believer? Is that Giant? Is that Giant? I don't know that off the top of my head. It seemed like the one that I used to be able to know off the top of my head was the one that was whatever that one was. Super out of tune. Sorry, I've been beating this guitar up a little bit. Time to Burn, I think was that one. Anyways, I'll take a listen at I'm a Believer and see if I can take a look at that. Preetparna here says, how did I get started in music? Man, I think a lot of you might know the answer to this, but my grandfather got me started. His mandolin hangs on my wall right there, right above the diesel. Boop. That's the mandolin I grew up playing when I was 5 years old. It's still a bit of a sore spot. He just died last year. So, man, it's still hard to deal with it, but it's how I got started. It was family. Dota says, would I ever be interested in improvising over Alan Holdsworth at a Vacron solo section? I don't know that tune. I'm sure if it's Holdsworth, I'm sure it's insanely difficult. I would need to practice quite a bit. These days, I am trying to balance practice with creativity. I think, and this is maybe a bit philosophical, and I don't want to come across sounding like a bumper sticker, but I think we practice to express ourselves. I think we practice the instrument to get to a point where we can express ourselves. And I still love to be a student of the instrument. Like I was just working on some 251s this week, just good old-fashioned jazz 251 stuff. But I am trying to find that balance of creating and not only being a student. There is such a fine line there, right? And I think it's important for me to get out there and create and make stuff. So I'm working on my new record. And when I have free time, that isn't occupied with, digital content or touring or working with the Flats guys or any of that stuff. I'm focusing on that new record. So I'm sure that solo is spectacular. I'm actually going to put it on Spotify later today, just to take a listen to it. But I'm also sure that it would take a lot of work to navigate it. And at least for this year, my goal is to create a new Andy Wood record and a new Kennedy Wood Band record. So until those things get checked off the list, they get my priority. I'm not making an excuse. I need to practice, but it is balancing. Mammoth says, I can't find the backing track for Reach. Could I please say the website? It should be on andywoodmusic.com. If for whatever reason it's not in the store section of andywoodmusic.com, I will evaluate that as soon as I finish this stream, but it should be in there. I'm going to use the words should be there. I know for a fact it's on my Patreon, and I will be uploading it again today for you guys that are Patreon members. You can have it for free, no purchase necessary other than your monthly subscription, which is awesome because it helps keeps the fire burning, baby. Jade saying Twitch is a lot of drama. You know what I mean? Man, Elden Ring. Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited. It's a big time for gamers. Lord have mercy with PlayStation, Sony partnering up with Bungie, yet promising not to have exclusivity. I don't think you can put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point, though. Like, Destiny's a multi-platform game. You're not going to not be multi-platform after working your butt off to get there. Chuck is saying we don't have the backing tracks for live at the Bijou. That may be the thing. I don't have the live version on my website, but I should have the studio version. If that's not true, it will go up in the next 24 hours. It will go on Patreon as soon as I hang up from YouTube. Hang up? Is that a term we use anymore? You hang up your live streams? Am I showing my age? Hang up the phone. Hang up the YouTube. Yeah. So anyways, let's just hit a couple more questions. Man, the chat is beautiful. I love seeing you guys hang out with us. We've had a ton of viewers hanging out, this hour. Thanks to Vidami for putting this on. I encourage you to go check out the Vidami. It's amazing. Chuck here has put the Vidami link in chat. Use the coupon Woodshed Live 10. Okay? I'm going to say this one more time. When you go to Vidami and you go to check this bad boy out, use coupon code Woodshed Live 10. That'll get you a little bit of a discount. It'll help you help yourself. It'll help you help yourself. Amazing technology. Simply 314 here is asking about Clapton's vibrato. What makes it so unique? I will acknowledge that next week. Next week, we will dig into that. AMS is in the house, so big love. I want everyone to give shout out and love to American Musical Supply. Partnered with them on the Woodshed Camp this past year. For those that don't know about that, it's killer. We have Joe Bonamassa, Robin Ford, Brent Mason, Greg Koch, Mark Letary, Andy Timmons, Laurie Basilio, Tyler from Music Is Win, and myself. It was, it's like we've had a plethora of top-level apex velociraptors of the guitar. And we all get together for a few days out in lovely Middle Tennessee, about an hour outside of Nashville. It's a lakefront property. 3-day event, and AMS partnered with us last year, which was our second year, and we are going into our third year coming up, and I can't wait. We're going to be announcing that lineup. Y'all are going to love it. I'll say this, it's international. We're going worldwide. We've dipped if you know me, you know my friends, and I've got friends in England, and I've got friends in Germany and friends in Canada, and we're getting them to the U.S. to do Woodshed this year. So that's going to be a delight. Check it out. Play something from Steve Morse, not too many notes. Okay, just a little bit here. Let's see. I'm just doing something on the fly here. I'm probably going to mess this up. This is probably going to get me flagged, but that's okay. Steve Morse, that's not too many notes. It's hard to remember this stuff off the top of my head. I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to get my other guitar for sure. Get the machine here. Get this bad boy out. And we'll do just a little bit of this. Let's see. Yeah, that's what you like right there. That tone. nasty. I love it. Put a little top-end shelf on it. Sounds good. Let's try this. I don't know how this is going to go. Oh, probably I don't know how it's going to go. We'll find out. Get my levels set here if we can. There you go. A little bit of the cruise control by request. Y'all are gonna get me in trouble these days on these requests. I'm gonna outkick my coverage. You know, it's not the tightest, but a little bit of the cruise control. Everybody gives some love to one of the finest guitar players that there is, Per Nilsson. My goodness. I think about hired gun gigs and how much work goes into them when it's even the simplest of music. And then to think that Per stepped into Meshuggah and just dominated like he did. Per, I love you, dude. You got I can't tell you how much respect I have for you and your playing. It's fabulous. And I've talked to Per. I know everyone's going to start saying stuff like, get Per on the woodshed. Okay, it's already happening. We're already happening. So Per, get to feeling better. Incredible talent. If you don't know him, go check him out. His name is right there. Put that in Instagram or YouTube and watch him demolish the world. It's incredible. He's an incredible metal player. And I think that's a dumb word. Per is just a great player who can play metal. That's the way to word it. So Per played over the Holdsworth Jam. Oh, cool. Now I really got to I'm going to check Per's first. Okay, cool. With that said, everyone, it is the witching hour, and I wish we could hang out all day, every day, but we can't. I got to get stuff done. I've got to do stuff. Work on this new record that's right there. I Live and Die by the White Erase Board, Getting some stuff done on it. A little sneak riff, one that I'm working on. That was sounding kind of cool was this thing that I had going on. Let's see, how did I have that? It's going to be on the new... Yeah, I really was feeling that riff the other day. Yeah, so there's your little sneak peek, and it's going to go here. So some cool chord changes in that. But I got to find time to finish this stuff. With that said, I appreciate you all so much for hanging out with me this week. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Even though I'm more of an Iron Man guy, we're going to use the Batman terminology. And, if you want more of this kind of stuff, be sure to check out Vidami's website. Check out the products. And you know what? If you're trying to learn music and guitar, this is the ticket. It's really going to help you. When you go to slowing stuff down, you want to play along, but you're like, oh, I missed that note. I need to go back and re-hit that. You just hit the back button. For example, let's just open up that cruise control backing track real quick. So here we go. I'm going to hit this window. Check it out. You can pause it. You can go backwards. You can play it. You know what I'm saying? Get in on that. Let's slow it down. Right? Slow it, keep going slower. Right? And then, of course, back to standard. This is how it works, man. It's awesome. It's super easy. And if you miss that lick, you're like, man, I wish I got that lick right. It was right here. Yeah. That's how it works. I wish there was more to say. But you don't need to say much more. Like, the product does the thing, you know? That's what I like about it. My favorite thing about it is you don't have to go into a big description. It's self-explanatory. Step on this button to pause the thing you're playing to. I love that. I love simplicity. You guys probably know that. I mean, like Tellies, even when they've got a little bit of something here and a little bit of something there, overdrives. I like things that are straightforward. Like, a lot of questions about my signal chain today. My signal chain is very simple. Shocker. It is this guitar. And for my dirt channel, it is the gearbox into the Sir Bella. That's somewhere. Where's it at? Where's that Bella at? There it is. There it is. Just the corner of the Bella right there. Into that Sir Bella, into a universal audio load box, the aux box. And that's it. The end. All the delays are coming to us courtesy of the aux. I can turn those off. This is the dry tone. Just some overdrive pedal into a Bella. I like a little bit of delay to be stereo because that's nice. I like a little room just where it sounds like you guys are in here with me. Boom. Yeah, some of that kind of thing, right? All right, everyone. I hope you all have a great, great week. We'll see you Patreons tomorrow night, as always. If you're interested in joining us in our weekly live masterclasses on Patreon, they are handled from Zoom, so they're interactive. And jump over to patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. A little housekeeping. Andy Wood Music on Instagram. AndyWoodMusic.com on the intronets. What else we got? Patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. Y'all know where to find me. You know where to hang out. Come hang out with us, you know. It's that simple. So Vidami Blue, you have Vidami has the cord on it. Vidami Blue, you can use this with your cell phones and iPads and all that kind of good stuff too. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And